Everyone, lucky you're here for episode number 2 of the podcast. After last week's huge success with millions of viewers around the world, now we've gone international. We're in New Zealand with Sidekick Soda. Fiona and Raji, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. You guys have an incredible product. I've enjoyed it many times. Every time I'm in LA, I stop by Erewhon to buy some and I stock up. But there's a lot more that I want to learn about it. I'm really interested to learn about how you got this off the ground. It's a great quality soda. It's probably the best that I've had in a very long time. So wanted to welcome you, and really what we're doing here is we're talking about the origin story of your brand, where it came from, what inspired it in the first place. Would love to hear about how you had this idea and how you then furthermore how you had the idea to take it to the US halfway across the world.
Sure.
Yep. You go for it.
So Sidekick soda is based on a recipe that my mum used to make for me. Mum was a really big believer that apple cider vinegar was the elixir of life, really. So it was an internal tonic. If you had a cut, you would apply apple cider vinegar on that as well. She was also really big on honey, because honey has also a lot of healing properties and is good for you. So what we were trying to do with Sidekick soda is to bring a better for you soda to the market, something that crossed the bridge, a bridge between a traditional soda and a super nootropic kind of soda. Sidekick's not our first foray into FMCG, but we were both keen to bring a product to market that wasn't so niche, right?
Mass market.
A more mass market product. We use sustainably grown fruit. A lot of the fruit we use is seconds, so it's not the first that you would get in the store. It is fruit that might have a slight, bruised or damaged. So we've got a really nice story with Sidekick and the source of the fruit there as well. So why the US? The US is the biggest soda drinking market in the world. You understand sodas, and you've got a very large a large population, a lot of which is discerning. So you understand what a soda drink is. Yeah. What about you?
I'm not sure really. I just thought I'd say with New Zealand and Australia, there's two main supermarkets.
Yeah.
And so they cater to everyone. Whereas with America, there's just a lot of variety in your supermarkets. So you can have like a supermarket built entirely around a niche, so like organic food or slightly kind of edgy foods. So that was just a big appeal to me.
I think with Mum's recipe was a very basic recipe, so it was sometimes palatable and sometimes not. So what we've done over time is we've worked with a beverage developer to get this to a really beautiful, full-bodied and tasty soda. Can't taste the apple cider vinegar in the drink. You can sometimes get the little taste of honey in the drink, but you get a very, very distinctive and very fruity, lightly carbonated soda. We found that a lot of people that kind of cringe at the thought of a better for you option have found Sidekick to be really easily drinkable. We've got a large population of kids that really love it, which is quite refreshing. And also people have been subbing out alcohol for a Sidekick instead, because it's got a good taste. We've managed to use in our fruits, majority of New Zealand fruit. Mangoes come from Australia though, so we don't grow mangoes down here. But We know exactly where all our plums come from, where strawberries come from, apple cider vinegar, honey. The honey comes from the most amazing bottom of the South Island apiaries, and I mean it's pristine forest. So it's a mixed honey, a mix of really good flora. It's not one particular type of honey. So yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell? I read on the website there's a backstory about Paw Justice and all of the work that goes into that from the proceeds of the business. How did that come to be, and how did that start with the very beginnings of your business?
So I was a commercial photographer for 30 years, and I've spent a lot of time photographing celebrities, but also animals. So animals have always been a passion of mine. I grew up in a house of dogs. I made sure that Rogie grew up in a house where there were always dogs, fighting for the best place to sit, normally on the sofa by the fire. And so I guess for me, business isn't just about what we can make. The best part about business for me is the difference we can make as well. And so it felt like a really beautiful alignment for us to partner with a charity that supports well-being of animals across the country. We're hoping to be able to make a really big impact long term, and we just need to get a little bit more traction and velocity, and then we can start doing some sort of serious donations back. But
you have been supporting charities for like 20 years, to be fair.
Yeah, we
Mum's their resident photographer. So.
I think giving back is not just about financial. So giving back is however you can do it. So if that means that you can, I mean, for me it was I can photograph animals or photograph people or help with events. At the moment, I call it trafficking, if you like.
You wrote a couple of dog books.
Oh yeah, I've done dog, yeah. But at the moment, I'm flying animals from one part of New Zealand to the other to help other animal charities. So yeah, I guess dogs are our thing. Good sodas are our product, and we're hoping that good sodas can actually make a difference long term in the lives of many animals, as well as lots of humans as they drink them. So it's
Great.
a win-win for everybody.
That's great. That's awesome. And it sounds like you've hardwired that into the business from day one, and it's just part of the ethos. It's all over the packaging. It's all over the website. And as you scale, you'll have more capabilities there to make a difference.
Absolutely. I think, it's, I guess, as people go through harder economic times, often the animals are the first thing that actually get surrendered. And it would be nice to know that we could potentially long-term, make a really big difference, I guess, in the animals' lives. And in people's lives, because, God, they keep the same most of the time, don't they, dogs?
Yeah. So how did you go from being a professional photographer into this line of work, though? What inspired you to make the leap? I've only ever worked in the food business. There's lots of folks like me out there, but you made a pivot from something completely different into this world. And what drove you to it?
Oh, okay. I had when Rogie was in the New Zealand cycle team, and one morning we were away while he was cycling, and I woke up and my vision became like a split. I couldn't see with both my eyes. My binocular vision disappeared. So I guess for me it was a health reason. And while it took about a year to get for my vision to come right, we started a small macaron business together. So, and Rogie did distribution, and he was still at school, but he did the distribution. I made the macarons. So I knew I needed a leverage income. After that, I bought a small condiment business. Condiments really aren't my thing, but it did really well. And over COVID, we did incredibly well. And at the same time, we worked on a liqueur brand together, and we won World's Best Fruit Liqueur. Once again, another niche product. And I guess Rogie's influence was that we needed to find something that was more mainstream, mass market. And so together,
and better for you
and better for you as
as well.
well, because, obviously alcohol's not 100%
Which,
better for you.
which it certainly is. I am not your target market, typically.
Yeah.
I do not drink much soda, I'll tell you, in my normal life. This is an exception. Now, I perceive this as a shrub. Shrub maybe is something that most people don't, is not in a normal everyday vernacular, right? But
Yeah.
that this is a type of shrub, more or less, right? With
It
the
is.
vinegar.
Yeah.
But it's really cool in that it's not too sweet. You can taste the honey. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's honey sweetened.
Yeah.
The fruit comes through. It's about 50 calories per bottle, right? So
Yeah.
I mean that's to me that's something that I'd be comfortable with my family drinking with. I would drink when I'm not normally a soda drinker, but
Yeah.
I think you've wisely marketed it as a soda. So you've
Yes.
marketed it as the mainstream. You're marketing it to a mainstream consumer, but it's almost like stealth health, where you're giving them something healthier than they realize when they
Yeah.
buy it, and you're making them healthier than they bargained for. So I think it's clever.
Well, you'll really like our next iteration, which is 3.5 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, no.
No, you go. You go.
Yes, the new iteration comes in cans, which is good. So it's 3.5 grams of sugar per 100 ml. And it's just slightly more aligned with industry leaders, basically.
Yeah, because
That's
Rogie's
great.
always wanted to get the sugars down, and just so happens that I did listen, and finally, but also it actually works for our bottling as well. So it means that it's easy for our production facilities to bottle and can for us, because we were using real fruit, so not concentrate. So we're actually using the actual squashed fruit, the puree. We had quite a few problems initially blocking filters and fillers in the bottling line, which caused a lot of stress for our team.
Which is a juice facility, basically.
Sure.
Um,
So when will these cans be available? Is that later this year?
We can in about 4 weeks
Wow.
for
That's
New Zealand supermarkets. So we found that food service really enjoys glass. I personally love drinking out of glass bottle. I don't enjoy a can. But for freight, for the consumer or for the retail consumer not worrying about ullage breakages in store, the cans are a great option.
Yep.
They're also a much more economical freight option for us, with obviously just across the water. America will get cans. It'll take a month to get there, so they'll be there by October.
All right. Well, America is waiting with bated breath. We're excited to see them. Where can you find Sidekick soda so far in the U.S.? If someone wants to rush out and buy it.
Just go to your local Erewhon store, is probably the best bet.
All right.
pop
And
up
Erewhon
website.
is a
Pop
great
up
place to start. And pop-up groceries
Now
on the
market.
East Coast, right?
Yeah, so we've just launched in pop-up grocer in New York, which is exciting. And of course, we're hoping for some new retailers to come on board in the next few weeks.
Awesome. Well, we wish you good luck. It's well deserved, the success you've seen so far. You've gotten a lot of good press. There's been a lot of positive buzz, and
Thank
we're
you.
still in the early stages of your growth. But we're excited to be working with you at Pod. We're all about innovation. You guys are definitely innovating. You're innovating a category that needs to be innovated and needs to be healthier, needs to have less sugar in it, and you're doing all of those things. So thank you
Oh,
for that.
thanks. Thank you.
Awesome.